Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, you can probably tell I'm not camping right now. Mrs. Sujano and I are out on an adventure. This is a travel day, and I'm going to be recording wherever I can, when I can, and I've got a lot of news to talk about. And don't worry, the legendary One Fluff is being very well taken care of. Not gonna lie, I had planned to record a little bit on the plane, but there was a lot of noise in the cabin. There were a lot of people around, and I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. So we've landed here, and I guess if you can guess where I am, you get 500 Sujano points. I don't know what they're good for, but if you can guess them, you get them. Anyways, first on the docket, we're talking about EA and The Sims. Now, we had talked about this one in previous videos, where it turned out that EA seemed to have put a pretty low effort into making The Sims run on modern PCs, The Sims and The Sims 2. And it also turns out that EA is paying attention to what the fans and the consumers are saying. So here's the statement right from EA. And like everything we talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. They say, we recognize some fans are currently experiencing various issues with The Sims Legacy Collection and The Sims 2 Legacy Collection. We are currently investigating these issues and hope to have more information on fixes soon. And then to help with the investigations, they're making sure to include screenshots and videos of the problems. So on the plus side here, at least EA is listening. Is this great? No, but at the same time, they are listening. In my opinion, it would have been pretty easy to get this right out of the gates. I mean, the games were already developed. People already knew what they were like. It wasn't like they had to put a whole bunch of effort in to redevelop these games just to re-release them. I think there is a bit of coding update to make them more modern machines. But at the same time here, I mean, not getting this right to me is alarming. And speaking about feedback, next up we're talking about Multiversus. Now, we talked about Multiversus in a previous video where they announced they're shutting down the game after Season 5. And it appears that a lot of people were pretty upset with this announcement. And it appears that a lot of people sent some nasty comments to the development team. The games director here, Tony, I'm gonna mess up this last name. I probably messed that one up and I apologize. I'm trying here. I've been up since 4 a.m. I've traveled. I'm really tired. Anyways, they took to Twitter and posted a very long message, and I will drop a link to that in the description below, and I do recommend going through it if you're a fan of the game. In that personal message, Tony does thank the gamers. He thanks the people who are fans of the game, people who have sent in fan art and all of that. And it seems the development team were pretty passionate about the game overall. And he does say something very important. I don't have the power some of you think I do. PFG is a highly collaborative team, and ideas are encouraged and can come from anyone, and we promote delivering value to players. And then he says, and this is really important, I know this is painful for everyone, and I know every member of PFG feels it too, but I have to call this out. You're entitled to what you say and think, but when there are threats to harm, it's crossing the line. I hope you can take a step back and realize that this is an extremely sad time for the team. So unfortunately, it does seem people are crossing the line, and we've talked about this one in previous videos as well, where some people love the power of anonymity so they can voice absolutely anything they want, whether it's acceptable or unacceptable. And I don't know if these people were doing it anonymously, but at the same time, there's real people behind this stuff. And I think Tony said it best when he said he doesn't have the power a lot of people think he does. I'm assuming, based on that messaging, that the decision to cancel the game came from the top and not from him nor from his team. So let me know your thoughts about that one in the comments below, but this to me just is a tale as old as time, where the executives are the ones making the decision to make money here, as opposed to, well, whatever value the game is providing and the interest in the game overall. They probably don't care about the game, they more care about the bottom dollar and what money it makes the company. We'll have to see about that, but that's just my opinion. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation with Play, and Literal Mente Game has a brand new Patreon post showcasing a progress update for this emulator. For those who may not be aware, Play can be played on a whole bunch of different devices. I mean, Android, iOS, Mac, Linux, Windows, and even in your browser. It's basically available everywhere, and it doesn't require a BIOS file. So as for what's new with Play here, there's a whole bunch of bug fixes, a whole bunch of improvements. In fact, in one specific instance, there was a 220% performance improvement, and a whole bunch of games are now listed as playable. At this point in time, I think most people are probably most interested in what games are playable on Play. And some of the big ones here include Blood Omen 2, The Legacy of Kain, as well as Onimusha Warlords, and even more. I do recommend checking out the full list. It's up over on Little Mente Game's Patreon page. And speaking about articles, next up here we're talking about a very interesting article over on Android Police. I'm wondering about the audio here. I'm on a balcony. There might be a lot of background noise. I apologize. The next segment I'll get off this balcony. Anyways, the article is titled, "The Hydra Lives On, How Nintendo's War on Emulators Feeds the Beast." If you're interested in Yuzu and Ryujinx and the forks of all of that and the entire situation, I do recommend giving the article a read. I mean, we've talked about a lot of this on the channel, but at the same time, this article does a real good job of summing everything up. And they do talk about the Hydra here. I don't know how well you can see it. I'll just drop a screenshot. Anyways, they talk about Nintendo's losing battle. They say here, Nintendo's war on emulation is a battle it cannot win. Open source development ensures that every takedown inspires new projects, often more advanced than its predecessors. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that if Nintendo actually embraced emulation and the modding community and all of that, instead of going after them and embraced all of that, I think Nintendo could crush the competition just based on how many people like Nintendo games in general. I mean, I could be wrong, but at the same time here, when a big channel like Linus Tech Tips has a video says that they hate Nintendo, it just goes to show that Nintendo doesn't necessarily do things in the interest of the gaming community. And if they had the gaming community behind them to support them, I mean, that would be huge. Anyways, here, I don't know if anyone at Nintendo is actually listening to any of that or if they even care, but at the same time here, I would say if Nintendo embraced the gaming community, supported it, the modding community, the tournament community, all of that, I think Nintendo's shareholder value would increase, but I could be wrong. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Again, she is well taken care of at home, safe and sound. Anyways, we talked about a bunch today, and not as much as I wanted to, but it was a long day and I tried to get as much as I could in. And I've got more news for you tomorrow. So feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.